Hi, my name is Cory Stevens. I'm the Volunteer and Internship Coordinator here at ArtsQuest, and these are my top 10 movies of the decade. So my 10th favorite film is Brooklyn. This one is sort of a sentimental one for me. My girlfriend and I had a tradition of having movie nights in Northampton. So we were able to watch some movies that I wouldn't ordinarily go out to see, and Brooklyn was one of those. So in addition to it being a sentimental pick for me, I also remember that movie a lot because it was a great performance by Saoirse Ronan, and it was interesting to see how folks lived in the 1950s, like the idea of living in a boarding house and having to work around those rules, and just the idea of like having a home in Ireland but coming to America and making a new life for yourself, and the conflict that introduces. I thought it was a really fun film to watch, and it's a good memory for my girlfriend and I, who's now actually my fiance. My 9th favorite movie is The Lobster. This one has Colin Farrell, Rachel Weisz. It's definitely a super weird movie, and I remember a lot of it just because of the very tense moments that arise out of this kooky situation. A lot of dark humor as well, and the ending is something that still gives me chills whenever I think about it. It really kind of begs the question, how far are you willing to go just to not be alone? My 8th favorite movie is the Lego Movie. I loved Legos growing up as a kid, so to find out that they were actually making a movie of it was really cool. And I thought that they did a really great job. I saw the movie while I was still in college, and despite it sort of being branded as maybe a kid's movie, I thought it was great for adults as well. Super funny for both kids and adults. And I was also super impressed with just how the film was made. Every bit of animation, the waves on an ocean, explosions, fires, stuff like that, they were all made out of Lego pieces. And I loved that attention to detail, and you really just got the sense that you were watching a movie made by people that love Legos as much as you did. My 7th favorite movie is Django Unchained. Definitely a violent film, lots of bad language, but I thought it was a lot of fun. It was just a really fun film made by an expert filmmaker. It really looked like art on the screen. So definitely a visceral movie, a visceral experience, but I thought it was a lot of great performances, and that's really what makes the movie for me. My 6th favorite movie was Inception. A really fun movie to watch just visually, because true to Christopher Nolan's style, he really plays with the timing of things, the way things that are edited and pieced together, and I thought that was a lot of fun. When you're on one dream layer and the van is falling into the river, and that causes gravity and all the other layers to get mixed up. So that was just a fun movie to watch. I love sci-fi movies that just play with a world, a totally original idea. And I didn't find that, the rules of that world really bogged the story down. I thought it just added to it. So really kicked off the decade with a great sci-fi experience. My 5th favorite movie is Spider-Man Into the SpiderVerse. When they first said that they were introducing Spider-Man into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I was hoping that they were going to go with a Miles Morales version of Spider-Man, so I was kind of disappointed that they went with Peter Parker again. But this movie shows why that would have been a good move. I just think that he's a really interesting character, and to see him alongside all the other, Spider-Men, Spider-Women, was really cool. And again, another film where, the filmmakers took the time to really focus on the craft of it. It's animated in such a unique way, as if it itself is a comic book, and really pays homage to, those origins. So yeah, just really appreciated that movie, and I always love a Nicolas Cage cameo. My 4th favorite movie is Mad Max Fury Road. I don't think there's any denying the fact that this is a visually beautiful movie. Really just did a great job with the way everything looks. The fact that, practical effects were used, that, cars were actually driving through the desert and stuff was really blowing up. It's a movie full of memorable images. And I think that's really the number one thing that you walk away with after seeing it. My third favorite film of the decade was Avengers Endgame. Pretty close to the end here. I think it might have been 2019 in May. But you really have to understand that this movie was an event. It was 10, 11 years in the making. It was like 22, 23 films just to get there. And so to see that end cap, to see the conclusion to all that stuff that they've been building towards was really so rewarding and so satisfying. And you're really seeing, the best of what special effects have to offer. A really cool experience and something that I'll remember for the rest of my life. So my second favorite movie of the decade was Star Wars: The Last Jedi. It's a really great chapter in the Star Wars saga for me. I think it did a lot of things that Star Wars hasn't done before. And I really felt that, the direction they took Luke Skywalker's character in was a direction that really made sense. I know people wanted this badass Jedi warrior swinging his lightsaber around, but, to use the Force just to project an image of yourself across the galaxy to troll your terrorist nephew, I don't know what's more badass than that. So definitely enjoyed that film, and of course, I love porgs, so I'm a big porg fan. My number one favorite film of the decade was The Grand Budapest Hotel. I love Wes Anderson's movies, the symmetry of it, the way that they look, using miniatures. It's such a unique look, it's such an interesting look, and I do love to watch all of those films because of that style. But The Grand Budapest Hotel really stays with me, again, because of the performances. Ralph Fiennes as Monsieur Gustave, he really does a great job of, seeming sincere to all the hotel's guests, when really he sort of has a more cynical view on the world. Just a really great performance. And it's just a movie full of scenes that make me chuckle whenever I think of them. I thought, it was really artfully done with, adding in this fact that M. Gustave loves romantic poetry, so there's a little bit of literary stuff throughout the movie as well. Another great performance by Saoirse Ronan. So just a really wonderful movie overall, and I'll keep coming back to that for the rest of my life. You pull on his tail and he goes, wah! So, definitely love that. I'm 28 years old and I got porgs.